who is going to be purchasing will be here?
Yeah,
Is here?
I'm the decision maker,
You're the
so,
decision
yep,
maker?
yep, so it'll just be me.
Okay.
My girlfriend trusts me.
Now, if you had come to my office, which is okay, I would have said, would you like some water? Or
I
some
would love
coffee,
some water.
tea?
Would you like some water or some coffee?
I have some.
Okay, great, thank you.
There you go. Fantastic. All right, so listen, what we're going to do is I'm just going to go over some questions with you real quick.
Okay,
And then we'll get into some of the more
okay,
dreamy details.
all right.
First thing is I want you to understand one of three things is going to happen here today.
Okay.
We're going to have this conversation, and you're going to understand everything. You're going to love me. I'm going to love you. We're going to go like, hey, let's work together. Let's get
Okay.
this done together. And so that's what we do.
Okay,
The other thing is you may listen to what I'm saying, and maybe it doesn't all click with you. You don't understand it completely. I'm not entirely clear. Excuse me.
mm-hmm,
And you decide you don't want to work with me.
okay,
That's fine. I'd rather you tell me that now than somewhere down the line,
right,
you know,
save each other time. Right.
save each other time and we can part friends.
Right.
You know, we don't want to have to have any bad blood between us.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, the third thing that could happen is we could go through all of this and I can say, I don't really want to work with you.
Okay,
I maybe you're not a good fit. We're
Okay.
not a good fit. You're not exactly ready.
okay,
It's not time yet. And so I would rather part now
okay,
than disappoint you somewhere down the line
fair enough.
and, you know,
Okay, fair
have
enough. Well,
bad luck.
hopefully I'm not a jerk.
No, I doubt you will be.
Okay.
And hopefully you won't find me a jerk and
Okay,
I
cool.
make everything all real clear.
All right.
So we had that phone conversation. We talked about what it was that you were looking for. The single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, finished basement, pretty standard, northwestern Queens.
Okay, yep,
Okay, so from that, I have your name, I got your address down here, your phone number.
Mhm.
Can I get an email from you real quick?
yeah, it's Daniel@yahoo.com.
Okay. All right, and you gave me your budget.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as your income is concerned, you're looking for something around 900.
Yeah, like mid nines,
Mid
somewhere there.
nines,
Yeah.
mid nine, you know, just staying below $1 million.
Yeah, staying below
Okay.
$1 million. Don't want to pay that mansion tax.
Right. Now, one thing I don't want to ever do is sell somebody a home that they're going to have to sell again, or the bank's going to take.
Okay,
So I just like to verify your income.
okay.
What are you currently making annually now?
Make 175, something. Let's say
Okay.
175,000. I don't know if these numbers are real, guys. We're just making it up.
Yeah. Who are you talking?
Yeah. $175,000
All right,
a year.
and I know you're the decision maker. Is
Yeah.
there any other income that's involved in that?
Oh, that's my salary. So yeah, my wife also makes an additional $75,000 a year. So I guess the total is actually 2 something.
Okay, all right, great. How long have you been in your current job? What is it that you do?
I work in finance, but I'm on the admin side
Okay.
at a hedge fund.
And you've been there for how long?
I've been at this one for 4 years, and I was previously at another one for like 3.
Excellent. Wow, you like it a lot?
It's a job.
It's a job.
Pays
well.
my bills. My
Right.
bills. That's
Yeah.
right.
And you said you were pre-approved?
Yeah, we have a pre-approval. So he actually, took our income and like I submitted my
You
taxes
did all that. You
and all
did
that.
full.
Yep.
That was my next question was, did they just say, hey, yeah, no, here you go?
Well, they did it first. So like we had a conversation with the bank, right? And because we were just curious, like we've already been like thinking about this for like 3 or 4 months.
Mhm.
So when we first got the idea, we just called my bank and we were like, how much can we get for a home loan? We had no clue, right? And so they gave us a number, but then that person actually said that, once we were like ready to look at houses, that we should get like, I guess this difference is, I guess, a pre-qualification or pre-approval.
Pre-approval, right.
So they said you should get a pre-approval where it's documented. So we did that like 3 weeks ago, about a month ago actually, and we submitted all of our documents, and then we got the pre-approval.
Great, that's awesome, that's great news. And what's that pre-approval for?
Goes up to $990 purchase price.
Okay, all right, and I got that. And how many people are gonna be living there?
Right now, just me and the significant other.
Okay,
But you know,
obviously there's
third bedroom.
plans, right? You got three,
yeah,
three bedrooms there.
it's time to just get out of this apartment and start putting down roots and stuff.
Excellent. You have any pets?
Yeah, my 2 cats that you see over there.
Oh man, nice, nice. What are their names?
Buddy and Minnie.
Buddy and me, I used to have cats.
They're the best.
They are. I love mine very much. Unfortunately, we lost them during,
Oh, that sucks.
during COVID, but that's a long story. All right, and you're looking like ASAP. If that, I'm
Yeah, I
correct?
mean, there's no like rush. Like we're fine here. Like
You have
we
a good
don't.
relationship with your landlord?
Yeah, landlord's good. Like we're month to month, but he's like he's totally cool, and like we're not getting pushed out. So like I don't need pressure. I don't need to be making an offer on every property that we see. Like I can wait for the right one. But yeah, I mean, don't want to draw this out for a long ass time either. Like
Right.
you know, if we can get it done sooner, great.
Right, great. I like that. I like that. What's the best way to communicate with you?
Text is I'm usually most responsive on text, and then email. I don't like to pick up my phone.
Okay. Just 1 second here. Okay. And when are good days for you to view property? Should we decide to work together?
Yeah, like probably weekends, you know, because we do work full time. So
Okay.
weekends are the best time. Saturdays, you know, not early in the morning because we like to go out on Friday nights.
Give me some time.
Let's say from like 11 to like 3, and then Sundays kind of the same.
All right. Sounds good. Fantastic.
I guess you can hit all the open houses at those times, right?
For the most part, yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that spring is coming up, a lot of clever agents are doing open houses on like Friday afternoon
Okay.
to nights, like after work sort
Right.
of thing, because we're getting daylight longer. So you may find the opportunity to see a house like from 5 to 7.
Okay, I mean, that's possible on, like Fridays especially, because the office is kind of quiet on Fridays. I can duck out a little early. So if something does come up, like that is good and we want to go see, like we can make it on Friday.
And what
like,
about Mondays?
No, not so much Mondays.
Not so much Mondays, like, okay. All right. If anything should come up, I'm just going to bounce it off of you anyway.
Okay, yeah, it
and-
can't hurt. Like,
And, you know, you could say I'm not even interested in that.
right. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right. Now, you're renting currently?
Yep.
You're on a month to month.
Yep.
I have that.
Okay.
You do not need to sell in order to buy, correct?
No, we don't own
Right,
anything.
you're not selling anything. And are you working with Chase? Have you decided to work with them, or are you looking into other options as well?
I mean, I haven't. Like, they're my bank. I've been with them for a long time, so I just went there. But why?
Okay, well, I would recommend that maybe you shop around, you have a little bit of time.
Okay.
When did you get your pre-approval?
Last month, like a month ago.
Oh, okay. So it's cutting it a little close.
I
But,
mean, how so?
well, you know, every time they take a hit, it's gonna affect your credit score, right?
But I thought that was just temporary. Doesn't it go right back up?
Not right back up. It'll take a little time. Take some months to get it. It goes up. It'll knock down like points, and then it'll go up a point, go up 2 points, go up 3 points.
Okay.
You know, the longer you go. But the reason I ask
Okay.
is if you are to shop around, if you do it all at the same time, right? You only really get hit once because the credit bureaus catch.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That-
Okay, that's where
that
I
you're
misunderstood
shopping,
that.
and you're allowed to shop
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
mortgage. You know?
So, but it has to happen like at the same time. They see
yeah,
like
it's like
different.
I think it's about 30 days, but I really recommend doing it within 10 days because that's when all of your information is going to be put together,
Gotcha.
and you can just
Gotcha.
bounce around and give the same information.
Well, I
to
mean,
everybody.
my credit's like 850, so if I take a 10 or 15 point hit, I don't
Yeah,
care.
you're not. Yeah, you have from 750 up. It doesn't. Nothing changes.
Yeah,
from
so like it's
750
fine.
up.
If you recommend shopping around, like, do you have lenders that you think I should talk to?
I do have lenders. If you think you should talk to them, be happy to share them with you. They can go over different products. There might be something you're missing. There might be some money being left on the table that they may be able to tell you
Okay.
about.
Yeah,
So it's always good to shop around,
yeah.
get your best rate, get your best.
I guess the
Uh,
rate's more important, right? Because like you're paying that for the next 30 years or whatever.
The rate is very important. You also want to keep an eye on like what points and what they're going to charge you.
Okay, I don't even know anything about points.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a mortgage guy.
Okay, fair enough. So talk to them about points.
Talk
Ask
to them about that.
Okay, good.
Basically, just find your bottom line,
Yeah.
get your bottom line from them. Excuse me, and run with that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to do what's best for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You
That
know,
makes
find
sense.
your best terms. All right. Got all that. Do you have any real estate attorneys that you're planning to use?
Do I need one?
In New York, you do.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't have one.
No. All right. Well, I have a list of preferred attorneys that our team works with constantly.
Okay.
And I want you to, whether again, you may decide to not work with me.
Right.
And what you're doing is you're building your team to help
Okay.
you buy a house.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
So like you and the other people, the attorney, the
right.
lender. Okay.
If you went with me, I have attorneys and lenders that I would strongly recommend.
Do I have to use them?
You do not.
Okay. All
You
right.
do not.
All right.
But these are people that I know, I trust, I work with, and I've
Gotcha.
had no problems with, and that's
Gotcha.
why I work with them.
And you've done a lot of this? Like you've done a lot of
Yeah,
sales?
I've been at this for about 10 years now.
Okay. Gotcha.
So again, you don't have to, but I want you to remember that you're building your team. So
Okay.
it's people who you identify with,
Gotcha.
people who answer you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay. Look, we've gotten through the first part.
Yay!
Yay! All right. So now let's, if you wouldn't mind sharing with me, why do you want to buy a home?
Well, tired of renting.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of dealing with, like upstairs neighbors.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
My upstairs neighbors are not the quietest. And we were looking at it and we are like, well, let's move. And then I was like, well, rents are really high. It seems like you're just throwing away money, because I'm not getting anything
Right.
for that, right?
You're
So
paying somebody else's mortgage.
I'm smart enough to know that, like, you own a property, you're going to build equity. Like, I'm at least that educated about real
Right.
estate. I don't know about all the process and everything, but I've read articles and stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, building equity seems like a good idea. Like, that's cool.
Mhm.
Interest rates seem like they're really high, so maybe you can talk a little bit about that with me. But building equity was one reason. Didn't want to deal with our neighbors anymore or other neighbors, because if we move and rent again, it's going to be the same deal. And then I guess the third thing was we're just kind of thinking about the future,
Mhm.
so wanting more space. And it's like, all right, well, do we rent and then deal with all that, or do we buy a house that maybe we want to live in for a good long time, and then we can always sell it if we want to move or do something
Right.
else, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the best way to build generational wealth. So, I mean, if you're planning to set up your family or to
Yeah.
have a family, you want them to be set up in the
Yeah.
future. Real estate's like one of the best ways to go, more so than the stock market,
Yeah.
more because land never becomes less valuable for
Right.
the most part,
Right.
especially in New York.
Especially New York, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't grow our family, like I can always set up my drum set in the extra bedroom and not have to worry about the neighbors, right?
Right?
So like,
No, my wife and I, we have an office. We both work
Yep.
from home.
Perfect.
We built an office. And so, can you explain to me a little more as to why now is the right time? Like, why didn't you do it 2 years ago?
Well,
Or
didn't
when
have-
when the interest rates were really low.
Yeah, well, didn't think of it, was part of it. I mean, it was kind of there, but like we just hadn't reached that point where we were like, yeah, let's buy.
Having a good time. Where
Yeah, and like we needed to save additional money anyway.
Right.
Like, you know, so we spent some time saving. You know, so it was just kind of those are the main reasons, right? One was just kind of, I guess we weren't really focused on it, and then even if we were, like, we still needed to save some money. So then we started thinking, you know, this last year, okay, we have this money now, and like we started to see that this might be a good thing to do because of what we want to do in the future.
Mhm.
You know, maybe have kids, you know, get married, have kids, etc., like all that stuff. So it seemed like a good idea because it came up in conversation that we wanted a bigger spot, right? And it hadn't come up
Right.
really before.
Okay, and how long now? Generally, before people start stepping out and looking, they're doing. You know,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Investigative looking.
Heck yeah.
How long have you been looking?
I mean, I've been looking on like Zillow for forever, but just with not really a real idea of like, you know, I want to do this. But you know, we've been since we got serious. I'm on Zillow all the time, like looking at listings.
And how long has that been?
Well, we got our pre-approval a month ago. I'd say probably the last 2 months I've been like looking at stuff online.
Okay. Have you been to any open houses?
Yeah, we hit a few, you know, just to kind of check it out and like peep the properties. You know?
Right. How many of you?
Less than a handful, like 3 or 4, let's say.
Okay. Just curious. Just And what'd you think of those properties that you saw?
I mean, yeah, some were cool. One was a dump. It looked totally different than what we expected. So like, we were there for like 5 minutes and then we bailed. But yeah, they're cool houses. Yeah.
Okay. Now you kind of told me already that you're interested in like the northwestern Queens
Yep.
area, the East Elmhurst, Jackson Heights
Yep.
sort of area. I assume Sunnyside, Woodside, are those all right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd consider them. Yeah, I mean, I really want to stay in like the East Elmhurst area.
Uh-huh.
You know, we rent here, like obviously, right? So, we'd love to stay in the neighborhood. I like that it's close to like downtown Jackson Heights, but not in downtown Jackson Heights where it's like
Right.
so congested and traffic, you know, and I like that it's close to Astoria, but it's not in Astoria where like, you know,
It's
you-
congested.
Yeah, like you've got to dodge cars when you're crossing Broadway or Steinway. Like that's not, I like that it's a little quieter here.
Great.
But it's close to all that stuff.
Have you considered any of the neighborhoods a little further out, like Rego Park, Forest Hills?
Not really.
Middle Village.
Should I?
That's up to you. You know what I mean? But you can always rely on, generally, the further you get away from Manhattan, the more you're gonna get for
For your money?
your dollars.
I mean, I guess what I would say is like, if like it's farther than I want to be, so it would have to have something that makes it
Right.
worthwhile to me.
Kew Gardens too is a great neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know Kew Gardens very well, but like, I don't know. I mean, I'd be open. Like, if you showed me something, it would have to have something extra about it that would make it worthwhile for me to go that far
Okay.
out, right?
All right. I mean, I would definitely focus on what you're looking for.
Mhm.
But if something should happen, we run through all those properties. Maybe we give a look out.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
if it has the amenities you need, like transit and whatnot, it may end up being a better fit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
all right.
so we'll keep that on the back burner.
Okay.
All right. What do you have? Like, what kind of needs do you have for the phone? Now, understand the difference between needs, wants, and dreams. Okay,
Mhm.
needs, you gotta have it.
Okay.
Wants are you'd really like to have it, but you don't need it.
Okay.
You know, and dreams were like, wow, that would be perfect. That in the perfect world.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, definitely 3 bedrooms is a need.
Right.
Like, I won't take a 2-bedroom.
Right.
I don't care how nice it is. Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to do a 2-bedroom. So it's got to have three bedrooms
Minimum.
minimum. I don't really care if it has a 4th. like, but okay, that might be nice if it has a
Mhm.
fourth, I don't know.
Then you can, put your drum kit in that
Ye-
fourth.
yeah, yeah. I would say 2 bedrooms definitely is a need because, like, I don't like
You mean
the
bathrooms?
Yeah, sorry, bathrooms. 2 bathrooms I think is a need because I really don't like the idea of like all these houses are 2 floors, right? They're all like they're not like single floor properties that I have seen. Not that many of them anyway.
Yeah, no, they're not in this area.
And I don't like
Not
the
in area
idea
you're
of
looking.
just having the bathroom on like the upstairs.
Right.
Because like then if you have guests or whatever, or you're having people over for dinner and they gotta trek upstairs, or if we have guests staying over at the house, and then it's like, everybody's trying to use the same bathroom.
Okay.
And it just gets to be, so I think 2, or at least 1.5, right? At least 2 toilets, right? In the house is like a requirement.
For those emergencies.
Yeah, exactly. Needs.
Anything
I
else?
I cook a lot.
Mhm.
I cook all the meals in the house.
Right.
So like I'm prepping all the lunches for us for the week, and I cook all the dinners. So I cook a lot. So it's important to me that it has like a very functional kitchen. I don't necessarily, it doesn't need to be huge, but it has to be like laid out in a way that makes sense and that is very functional for me, and that has, that I can use, that has enough storage for the stuff that I have.
Mhm.
So like, that's important.
Okay.
And then, I said finished basement. We don't really have money to like finish a basement, unless you have some other ideas. But I don't have, so like I would say that yeah, we kind of need that finished basement. It's like, it's additional, we're not gonna rent it out or anything, so it's not like living space, but it's space that we can use, so I need that usable space.
Okay. And that's definitely, like, if you run and walk into a house and it's a partially finished basement, but the upstairs is like all turnkey and it's in your price range. Is it really like, are you gonna walk away from that?
That's a good question.
All right, so listen, let me explain something to you really quick. When you're looking, if you're able to get about 75% of your wants,
Uh-huh,
or your needs rather,
Uh-huh.
take it, make an offer.
okay,
Again, this is whether you work with me or not. I'm
Okay.
giving you, this is free advice.
okay,
Because you're never gonna find 100%. Never,
okay,
unless you build it yourself.
all right,
But if you find that like 75, 80% of what you're looking for, you find it in a property, you wanna make an offer on that property,
okay.
okay?
Well, what if there's better properties out there?
There possibly could be, but you're not looking at that one right now. And if you wait, you'll lose it, especially in this market for single families, you're gonna lose that property. They don't last very long. If you were looking for a co-op, I'd tell you a different story.
All right, that's a fair point. So, when you put it that way, I guess, we're not gonna live in the basement.
Right.
You raise a good point. So,
Okay.
it's, let's put it as a very strong desire. It's a very strong one.
I put it as number 1 in your wants.
Okay, it's fair enough.
Okay, any other wants that you would like?
A little bit of like yard space would be good. I like to garden, so some dirt.
Oh, that cooking, I'm sure you gotta grow
Yeah.
herbs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anything else? A little yard space, finished basement.
Yeah, the bedroom needs to be big enough, definitely, for the furniture that we have right now. So it's gotta be, I think I measured it, it's gotta be like, say 10 by 12 at least for the main bedroom.
10 by 12?
Why do you
Okay.
say it that way?
That seems very small.
Oh, it seems small?
Yeah.
So you think they'll be bigger?
I would hope so.
Okay, well then, okay, so that's a need that we don't have to worry about then.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm used to my little apartment
Yes,
here,
I do,
so
yeah.
maybe my idea is skewed.
Yeah, 10 by 12 is a thing. So what would make it perfect? What would make your home perfect?
Well, perfect. If I didn't have to touch it to do any like updating, and it had parking, like now it's perfect.
Okay. All right. Big question, if we found your home that meets everything your wants, all of your needs, some of your wants, what would you do?
Well, I mean, going off your advice, you're saying I should put in an offer.
Yes, that's what you would do.
Well, okay, but you need to explain something to me because, like, an offer, like that's a serious thing. Like now I'm tied to this property. Like that, I don't want to.
You're not tied to anything until you're in full executed contract.
Well, what is that? What's fully executed contract?
That's when both the sellers and the buyers have signed the contract. And that's gonna happen after you do an inspection, and that's gonna happen, after all the contractual details, all of your, terms
Okay.
are met on both sides of the party.
All right. So, like, if I'm writing an offer, I can still look at other houses.
Absolutely,
Can I make offers on other houses?
absolutely.
So you're saying that an offer is just like a piece of paper, and it's not a big deal.
It's just saying, hey, we're interested.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, so if you say that, then I guess if we see something that, like you just described, then,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
how
let
many?
me tell you a story
Okay.
right now, okay? I didn't dress this way for you.
Okay. Darn.
But I have an appointment later that we're looking at another house.
Uh-huh.
We have an accepted offer already on another house. We're doing the inspection on it on Monday, but we're still gonna go see this other house, and if they like this other house, we're making an offer on that house as well,
Oh.
okay?
Isn't that inspection going to cost money?
Yes.
But this guy that you're talking with, like, he's cool with spending that money and still.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you're investing in your future, right?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
And he could always cancel it if we go see this, and in the interim, he's like, yeah, do you know what, forget that other one, I want to put, but he has an accepted offer on the other one.
Gotcha. So he's got like his multiple pokers in the fire, is what you're saying.
Right, so, bird in the hand.
Doesn't the seller get pissed off about that?
Well, they get to do the same thing until you're in a fully executed contract.
So they can accept other offers if I make an offer,
Yeah.
and they've accepted mine?
Yeah, that's why,
Oh.
see now, this house that he likes, that he put an offer in on, he's gonna go ahead and move forward with that. So he can possibly, he wants to do that as fast as possible, so he can lock in the seller.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so like so I didn't know any of this, so thank you. Yeah, I always thought like offers were a serious thing, and that it's like, you have like 3 days and like you're locked in. So I mean, if it's like that, then yeah, if I see something that I like, we'll write the offer.
Okay.
And you're saying that I can just, if I change my mind, I can just change my mind. Like I can just cancel the offer if I want to.
To a point, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You even have like an opportunity after the contract.
Okay.
Because that's when the appraisal will get done. And
Gotcha.
if it doesn't appraise, unless you give up that contingency, which
Okay.
some people do,
Okay.
your mortgage contingency will, so long as you, oh man, there's a lot of caveats
Okay.
here. I don't want to kill time.
So just talk to me. So you said appraisal contingency. Talk to me about that.
All right, so if the house doesn't appraise,
Meaning
one
like
of
the
three
appraiser
things.
says it's
Right,
not
the
worth what we
like,
said.
you say, I'm gonna pay $1 million for this.
Okay.
Appraisal comes in, it's worth $980,000.
I
not
could
$1
say
million.
I'm out.
You could say one of three things. You could say, I'm gonna come out of pocket, I'll pay.
I'm not
for
doing that.
Right? You could say, we're not gonna pay that, what do you wanna do, Mr. Seller?
Okay, so like put it on them.
Or you can renegotiate
Gotcha.
and say, all right, we'll split it.
Okay.
You know?
And if none of those happen, then I can bail, is what you're saying? And I don't lose my deposit? Okay. All right.
Okay?
Okay.
What are some deal breakers that you have?
Deal breakers. I don't want a fully attached house
Okay.
because we've been dealing with noisy neighbors. I don't want to be sharing walls on both sides of my neighbors.
Yeah, I understand, that makes sense.
Yeah. So fully detached would be best.
Right.
I might consider a semi-detached, like that has one shared wall,
Mhm.
but I definitely don't want a fully attached, like those
Okay,
row
anything
houses. It can't look like a prison. Like I see all these houses in East Elmhurst with bars on the windows and bars on the balcony. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Other deal breakers. I guess like it can't feel like really like tight. You know, I've seen some of these houses that are like really narrow, and they feel like they seem like they're really small.
Okay.
I can't see myself being comfortable on a day-to-day basis living in a place like that.
Okay, all right, understandable. Now, these next two questions are pretty straightforward. What is it that you would expect from me as your realtor?
Well, like show me properties that I like. You know, show me like good listings. Like, handle the search. You know, good communication. I'm big on that. And just like guidance. You know, like I don't want somebody to be salesy or pushy. Like I hate that. So I don't want that kind of a, you know, you get this idea of like realtors, you know, that, you know, like slick and like pushy and like they're out for a buck. Hate all of that. So far, you've been great. Like you're super friendly. You seem super approachable. You're not. I don't see dollar signs in your eyes, which is I don't like that.
Yeah, well, everybody does things for different reasons.
Yeah, true.
I'm not a money motivated person. What should I expect from you? Let me help you.
What do you expect from me?
All right, I expect you to communicate.
Okay,
I
fair.
expect you to be honest.
Okay.
Give me your honest opinions, because after we see a house, I'm going to look at you. I'm going to say, you want to put an offer on that? And you're going to say yes or no. And then when you say no, I'm going to say, well, what would make that better?
Uh-huh.
What would have to happen for that to be,
A
to
yes.
get an offer?
Okay.
Or what would you pay for that?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you those questions. I just want you to be honest with me.
Okay. Do I have to share like personal information with you? Like, you know, one of the things that I'm nervous about is like you're just a realtor and you're showing me your listings, and like I don't want to be sharing stuff, you know, that maybe is going to get back to the seller or whatever.
No, that's not ever going to happen.
How do I know that?
We'll go over that.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Okay.
All right. We'll table that for now. Let's
yeah.
get back to it.
So I want you to be. I want honest communication.
Okay.
I want you to be on time.
Okay.
I promise you, I will be on time.
All right.
I want you to be on time. If you should be late, all I ask, I don't mind you being late. Just let me know.
Okay.
Don't leave me stand in front of the house for 15 minutes going.
Where's
no communication.
Dan? Okay, gotcha.
That's just something that's
Okay,
really
so
big
that's your
important.
expectation. Gotcha.
All right. Okay, now just so you know, there are 3 different types of buyers.
Okay.
We're gonna go over this real quick. There's an A buyer, a B buyer, and a C buyer.
Okay.
All right. Now an A buyer has like a 4 to 6 week timeline. A B buyer has like a 2 to 3 month timeline.
Okay.
And a C buyer would be anything over 3 months.
Okay.
An A buyer, like they have to move. They're highly motivated.
Okay. Gotcha.
B buyers are like, well, we can move now, we can move later.
Gotcha.
And then C buyers, they're like kind of investors. They're looking for the perfect property.
Oh, gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm a B.
Yeah.
I'm a B buyer.
All right. The reason I ask that is because there are certain ways that I treat A, B, and C buyers.
Okay.
Now A buyers, they're desperate.
Okay.
Okay, for
Gotcha.
the most part.
Gotcha.
They need something to happen soon. So I get them out and I get them going and to where they need to be.
Gotcha.
I try to get them what they need ASAP.
Right.
B buyers, I'll take them out like once a week, twice a week,
Okay.
every other week.
Okay.
You know, depending on what we find.
Right.
How important it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
C buyers, I'm gonna, you know, set up a property search and
And
send
whenever
them
they-
properties.
Gotcha.
And,
You're not
you know,
really taking
reach
them out
out,
or anything like that.
you know, quarterly,
Gotcha.
monthly,
Gotcha.
depending on
Yeah,
where
no,
they are.
definitely I'm not a C buyer.
Yeah, okay. All right, now we're down to the nitty gritty. We're almost done.
Okay.
We already did that. Is there anything that might prevent you from making offers or closing on a home? Let me give you some examples.
Okay.
You have a job change.
Okay. Not that I can think
You
of.
know, which is going to take you someplace else.
Right.
You're not selling another property.
No.
You know, pending any divorce or
No.
upcoming anything like that.
Okay. I see
You
what
know,
you're
just
saying. Like life things
life
that might
circumstances
tank a
that,
deal.
that you kind of like see going on
Uh-huh.
in the background, but you're trying to ignore.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, no,
you
nothing
know,
that I
but-
can
But
think
if
of.
that happens, it'll.
And if I did, and I'm like share that information, like, how does that work?
I will keep it locked in my heart.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. No, I mean nothing that I can
Yeah,
think of.
No, listen. Anything you say to me, should we decide to work with each other, will be between you and I alone.
Okay. So there's like a confidentiality
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I won't
Okay.
even tell my wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So real quickly, just so you know, I am on a team,
Okay.
and when you work with a team, you have several different people working for you at the same time. Okay. What happens is I will take your home specs, I'll share them with our listing agents, and our listing agents will let me know, hey, I've got this in the pipeline coming up. Let me, you know, they said they were interested in listing in 6 months, but let's see if we got them a buyer,
Mhm.
you know. So we can do that. So our listing agents are looking for you. Mostly you will be working with myself and our transaction coordinator, Anna.
Okay.
That's once you get into contract.
Once I get into the contract. Okay. So the whole search and like doing offers and negotiating all that, that's all you.
That'll mostly be me.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
There may be an occasion, I have a family thing going on. We have other buyer agents. I would ask them
To, like, show a property or
to
something?
show you.
Okay.
Or if it's an open house situation,
Gotcha.
I would just ask the open house person if it's okay.
Gotcha.
And on that topic, should you be out with your wife walking around on a Saturday or Sunday,
Uh-huh.
we don't have plans,
Okay.
and you see an open house sign, and you're like, oh, let's just stop by and see that, and you do, I want you to tell them, and I would recommend that you do this until you select an agent anyway. You feel free to give them my information,
Okay.
just so they're not calling you and harassing you.
Gotcha.
And, you know, not harassing,
I
but,
understand what you mean.
give them my information, let them call me.
Okay.
Okay? I'll give you some cards as well, so
Okay.
you can just, or I'll
Cool.
give you my digital card, and it'll always be on the phone, you can just
Okay. Yeah.
write it down. All right, so Anna is our transaction coordinator. She'll take over your file and make sure that everybody's doing what they need to do and keep the file moving forward.
Okay.
Okay, that's her job.
That's after I get into contract.
Right,
Okay.
she'll be your main point of contact.
Gotcha.
As will I. You're always welcome to reach out to me. More often than not, when you're gonna ask a question to me, I'm gonna say, let me talk to Anna.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
I'll get back
All
to
right.
you. And that's fine too. We just want everything to get done in a comfortable and timely fashion.
Okay.
The last thing, okay, the 3 P's of buying a home, or the 3 P's of purchasing, for alliteration reasons. There are the 3 P's, which are price, product, in place.
Okay.
Okay, now what happens is you get to select two of them. Unless money is no object,
Uh-huh.
you get to select two of them. And the market is gonna tell you the third. Does that make sense?
Explain that to me. I don't know what you mean.
All right, you want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home in northwestern Queens
Mhm.
in the mid-900s,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you really want the 3-bedroom, 2-bath home,
Mm-hmm.
and you really want northwestern Queens.
Okay.
So the market's going to tell you how much how much that's going to be. So
I
if
see what
you
you
say, now I'm sticking with mid-900s, and I want that single-family home, the market's going to tell you where you're going to be able to buy that.
I see what you mean.
So it may not be northwestern Queens.
Gotcha.
You may have to go further out to
Gotcha.
get that price point. That's all I'm
So you're saying there's like 3 variables, and if I'm set on 2, the third one's going to be determined by the market forces and whatever the market's
Right.
telling me, and
Right.
that's either going to work or it's not going to work.
The only
what
thing
you're
that's
saying.
gonna, that this is not the truth, is if money is no object.
Because then you can buy anything anywhere you want. Okay, I get it.
Okay?
So, will you be able to show me like what the market value of properties are in a certain area? Like, would
Yeah.
you be able to help me with that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And like when that actually brings up a question. When I'm gonna write an offer, like if you were suggesting if you see something that has 75% of what I want, write an offer. But like, how do I know what kind of offer to make?
Well, we'll discuss that
Okay.
at the time. We'll do, kind of leads me into the next sort of situation, which is the paperwork.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
We're all done with this.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. So the paperwork that we need to go over is first the agency disclosure form.
Okay. What's that?
Okay? This is not a contract.
Okay.
All right. What this is the state making sure that I explain to you and that we have an understanding as to what our relationship is going to be.
Okay. If we decide to work
If
together.
we decide to work together.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So on the back,
Uh-huh.
basically, it wants me to let you know that my name is Duane.
Okay.
I work at Keller Williams Realty Landmark 2.
Got it.
Okay? And I am going to be representing you as a buyer's agent.
So I'd be the buyer and you're representing me as a
Right.
buyer's agent. Okay.
So you would flip this back over, you would
And
go
then
through
read
here
this.
and find buyer's agent,
Buyer's
and read
agent.
through, and then that would explain my duties to you.
Okay. Got it. So
Which-
I read that. Okay, I understand it.
We can go over that. Basically, I owe you my obedience. I owe you my loyalty. I owe you confidentiality.
Okay.
I owe you disclosure.
Okay.
And then as well as reasonable care, and there's another one I can't remember.
Okay. All right.
But you should go through that. And so that, like, back to this is what you were asking about before. This is gonna stop me, like, I don't, if we agree to this and we sign this, this means that anything you tell me in confidence, like say we walk into a house and you say, you know what, this is really nice, I wanna offer 900, but I'd be willing to go up to 950. Okay? I would never tell the selling agent or the listing agent, hey, my buyer's interested, he's gonna offer 900, but we can get him to go up to 950. Because.
Isn't that what you guys do all the time?
No.
Okay.
Some may. I don't like those people.
Okay. All right. So you're telling me that if I were to say that to you, you have to keep that between us.
I would.
And that's what this is saying,
Yeah.
is that
That's
you,
one of the major differences between a realtor and a real estate agent.
okay,
All right, it's our code of ethics.
the code of ethics. Okay, got it. So So you're saying that I could share that information with you, and you're not going to throw me under the bus or sell me down the river
No.
to get the deal?
No.
Gotcha.
Another thing I want you to know is that over here, we have advanced informed consent to dual agency with a designated sales agent. In my office, there are like 300 different agents.
Okay.
We all work under the same broker. We all work under the same broker license.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand so far.
So that would mean if someone in my office, whom I don't even know because they're brand new and in, productivity coaching class right now.
Okay.
They get a listing that's perfect for you.
Okay.
All right. So what would happen is that would be considered dual agency because we both are under the same broker.
Gotcha.
All right.
So like,
But
I see. Okay.
what this would mean is I, Duane, would be appointed to represent you, the buyer, and that other Keller Williams agent would be designated to represent the seller.
Okay. Okay. I
And
think I
then
understand.
anything that the seller tells them is confidential, and they will not share that with me.
Okay.
I will not share anything that you tell me with them, other than what we can do to negotiate.
Gotcha.
Other than what we are directed by our principals,
Okay.
being you and the seller.
Gotcha. I understand.
What we are directed to do.
Isn't that like a conflict of interest because the office is representing both sides? Isn't that like a problem?
No,
Okay.
no, because it's just an entity. The office is just
Okay.
an entity. They don't really have anything other than two agents who are working on a deal.
I see. Okay.
You know.
And you're still obligated to represent my interests, and that other person's obligated to represent the seller's interests. Is that right? Okay. All right. I get it.
All right.
I get it.
This other thing here, this is the New York State Housing and Anti-Discrimination Disclosure Form. Basically, you are in the city of New York. You cannot be discriminated against for anything.
Okay.
For anything.
Not even my beard.
Legal. Maybe your beard.
Okay.
But anything legal. Like there's no. If you feel as though you are being discriminated against, you have the right to file a complaint.
Okay.
If it's against me, if it's against the seller, whatever,
Gotcha.
you have the right. All that information is right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that seems cool.
All right, and then again, the state just wants to make sure that I've given you this information.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Fair.
You will receive copies of everything you sign with me.
Okay. Okay.
You will receive copies of everything that you will sign with me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
This, now, as of August, I want to say 21st or 17th this last year,
Okay.
there has been a huge change in our business. Are you familiar with it at all?
No.
You've
No.
not heard it on the news?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, well, out in the West, there was a big lawsuit
Okay.
against the National Association of Realtors by sellers about disclosing or transparency of who was being paid what by whom.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
The commissions, you mean?
Right.
Okay.
And the sellers were claiming that they didn't know that they were paying for the buyer's agent.
Is that true?
What?
They were paying for the buyer's agent? Like, don't I have to pay you if I hire you?
Look, in my opinion, you're the buyer. You're the only one coming to a table with money.
Well, that's true.
You're paying everybody, aren't you?
Okay.
Right?
I mean, yeah, fair.
Okay. So, yeah, in my opinion, that's true. That you're the one you're paying everyone. But the sellers feel as though since they've traded the goods for the money, that the money is theirs, and that
I see.
they're going, well, why, after I sell my property, am I paying this person?
Right.
way it used to be was the listing agent would take a commission, and then they would share a portion of that commission to help bring in buyer agents. Or agents with buyers to show their property, to increase the chances of that property being sold.
Gotcha.
That is no longer allowed.
Okay.
So now the burden of compensation has been placed on the buyer, who is represented by the buyer's agent.
Okay, but like if the buyer was paying the money before, and then that money was just being shared to the buyer's agent, and now I'm paying the buyer's agent directly, isn't it the same damn difference?
Kind of, depends on how it's written in the contract.
Oh, okay.
See, we'll get in. There are 3 ways that I can be compensated.
Okay.
Okay. One is we agree to terms. And then you could either pay me directly,
Okay.
or pay the brokerage directly out of your pocket.
Gotcha.
You could pay me through the offer. So we make the offer. We say we're offering $900,000, and out of that, not my brokers or my agent's compensation is included in that $900,000.
Gotcha.
Because I am going to be paying him through the mortgage.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to be able to come out of pocket to pay him directly, but I'm going to include that in my mortgage, so I'm including his price.
Got it.
In-
Got it. So it's the same amount of money, and it's just I'm paying for it in a different way.
Right. Look, the buyers, are, in my opinion, are probably, or the sellers rather, are getting more. They're losing more
Yeah.
in the end, but
Right.
you know,
Okay.
we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
The third way now is that we could say, okay, we're going to offer you $900,000, and then we're going to put my compensation on top of that, so we can still include it in the mortgage.
Got it.
But this is the bottom line. This is what they get. This is what
Right.
this is where that money goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. I think I understand.
The
So it's like 900 and the commission comes out of that. It was the first example, or 900 plus the commission on top of that was the second example.
right.
Okay. Got it.
Right. Now with that, yeah, no, that's the end of that.
Okay. I mean, yeah. For me, it doesn't seem to make a difference because, like you said, buyer's the only guy bringing money to the table anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was paying, before the way you explained it, if I was paying the seller X amount of dollars, and then he was taking some of that money and paying his listing agent, which then split it with the buyer's agent, it's still my money that I paid.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, just because it says on a contract that it's coming directly out of my pocket, it doesn't seem to be that different. So like,
Right. Okay.
It's no big deal.
All right. So all of that will just be written up in the offer.
In the offer, okay.
So it's all explained.
Gotcha.
And we got to make it very clear, and then also follow up with the attorney to make sure that the attorneys, because we have to do our business with attorneys.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, you mentioned that.
attorneys don't always read.
Okay.
So you have to just do your due diligence. I will do my due diligence as
Gotcha.
well on that to make sure that all the ducks are in.
And how do I know that I'm not overpaying for property or I'm not like
We'll do
buying a lemon?
Well, one of the advantages of having me as your agent is the fact that I can do comparative market analysis for you. I can show you what's selling in that neighborhood for how much.
Okay.
The most recent sales.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That is one of the.
Gotcha. And I guess the appraisal would help too, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
So there are two ways I can represent you.
Okay,
I can be your exclusive buyer representative.
okay,
This means we agree to return, we agree to terms, how long, how much, so on and so forth.
okay,
The other option is non-exclusive, which means I would, say you called me and you said, hey, Duane, I want to see this house, right? And we didn't do all of this, but I want to see this house. I would go, okay, we need to have we need to have an agreement to have that happen.
so I have to have an agreement with somebody?
This is part of the new rules.
So if I called you and we didn't do this, right?
Mhm.
Like I said, no, I'm not signing anything, and I called you and said, hey, Duane, I want to see that house on 95th. Like,
Yeah.
you can't take me and show me?
No.
Okay,
But we can do a non-exclusive.
okay,
So it would be just for that one house.
Uh-huh.
You have to have representation.
okay.
That's the new rule.
So I couldn't go on my own and see it if I didn't want?
You could, but then you have the listing agent would probably try to, like if you put your offer in through the listing agent, you would not have the opportunity to have a CMA. Let me tell you a quick story. When I first got into the business, a friend of mine bought a home.
Uh-huh,
He bought it directly through the listing agent.
okay,
I had just completed one of my first sales,
gotcha.
and we were discussing how the transactions paralleled.
Uh-huh,
When after he had bought the house, he started doing some repairs and some renovations, and as he was doing them, he began to find this was wrong with it, and that was wrong with
Okay.
it, and this was wrong with it. He
Yeah.
never knew that any of this.
yeah, like I'm nervous about that too.
Right. Well, a listing agent, not only do they not have to tell you, I mean, they have to disclose material defects that they know about,
Okay,
but they may not know about
Gotcha.
them, or they may
I
have
see.
brief lapses of
right,
memory.
I see what you're saying.
And so then so these things get overlooked. Now, you have the right to inspection. So, I came in to my friend, I said, well, what did your inspection report, when he told me this news? So what did your inspection report say?
Didn't do one?
And no, he did.
Okay.
He did, but through the listing agent.
Oh,
And it was a 3-story house. The whole inspection took, I think he said, between 30 and 45 minutes.
wow.
And
So like 10 minutes per floor?
yeah. And
Oh.
I said, oh, well, and I pulled out the inspection report that I got
For the other sale that
for
you
my
did?
buyers,
Gotcha.
who were my buyers,
Uh-huh.
who I represented, and I pulled it out and I showed that to him, and it was 46 pages. His was 2.
Okay.
I wish I was making it up,
Okay.
but that's what can happen
If I go straight
if
to
you
the
go
listing
straight
agent.
to the listing agent.
Gotcha. But it saves me
There-
money, doesn't it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, because they're still gonna get you to pay as much as possible,
I see.
you know.
I see. I see.
Where I'm gonna say, well, this is a good deal or this isn't a good deal.
Right. Because you're working for me, you would do the CMA, you would show me this is the value of these properties.
And the most important thing to understand is the listing agent is never working for you. Never.
Mm. Got
They
it.
are required to give you fair and honest dealing,
Right.
but they do not work for you.
Gotcha. So they don't really care.
So no, they can hide things from you. That like now they could hide things from everybody, I guess. But you know, you want somebody in there who's going to be asking the right questions.
Got it.
And if they are realtors and if they do behave ethically,
Uh-huh.
you will get all the answers that you need.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know necessarily the questions I'm supposed to ask.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So now So you talked a little about exclusive versus non-exclusive. I'm a little nervous about doing anything exclusive with anybody because like I want to see everything that's available, and like if I sign something with you as exclusive, you're only going to show me your listings.
Oh,
And-
no, I'll show you everything.
Well, how does that work?
I have access to all the, there's our MLS, right?
Okay.
Which I belong
What's
to.
MLS?
Our LIBOR, it's a multiple listing service.
Okay, got it.
I belong to LIBOR, so LIBOR has what we call our matrix, and on it is all of the properties listed.
Okay.
There is also the OLS that Manhattan uses.
OLR, you mean?
OLR.
Okay.
So you do know. No, there's the OLR. There's a Brooklyn MLS.
Okay.
There's like Street Easy. I don't use Zillow, and I recommend you don't use Zillow.
How come?
Julia. Listings tend to stay old
Okay, gotcha.
and
So
stay
they're not
on.
updated. Got
Yeah,
it, got it.
we had a rental listing once that 6 months after it was gone,
It was still there.
we were still getting calls.
Okay.
You know, we've had regular house listings as well.
Wow. Okay.
It's just the thing. So Street Easy, I find as far
Be
as
pretty good.
local stuff is pretty good.
But so you can
But-
show me any property doesn't have to be your
No.
listing?
No. And this also helps with that as well.
Well, and what if I just don't want to be tied to one person, like, I don't know, because personality or whatever?
All right, so you still would have, you can do it, look, if you want, we can do a trial period.
Okay.
All right, we can do like a 1 month trial period if you like.
Well, what would be the benefit of me being like signing somebody on an exclusive agreement? Like, what's the plus?
That's a good question. For me, the plus for me is that I know that you're being loyal to me as I'm being loyal to you. See this?
Yeah.
This is my loyalty to you.
Got it.
This is your loyalty to me.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I always prefer to be in a relationship where I can trust that you're not going to go out and see.
Date other people?
Yes. Yes.
Well, okay, I understand that. So that's one of the benefits of an exclusive relationship. So what would be the drawback of a non-exclusive relationship?
The non-exclusive relationship just means that like I would be your agent on. There's a couple different ways of doing it.
Uh-huh.
One would be I'm going to show you this property that you asked me about, and this is only this property. We come to terms. We show you this property. I'll represent you on this property and this property only.
Okay.
We could do it where I'm looking in 3 different neighborhoods, and I want to use, for this neighborhood, for Jackson Heights, I want to use Duane. For Sunnyside, I'm going to use Frank. And for Woodside, I'm going to use Matilda.
Got it. So like, an
And
agent
then
for
each of
area.
those would specify in the contract. This is a non-exclusive
Mhm.
relationship. This person will only represent me in this neighborhood. That's another way of doing it.
Got it.
And then there are timelines.
Got it.
You know.
All right. Well, tell me why I should sign an exclusive agreement with you.
I've got tons of experience. I've been in the business for 10 years. I was Rookie of the Year my first year.
Got it.
I have a whole team that's ready to work for you, with me. And I'm damn charming.
You have been charming so far. All right. Can I powwow for 5 minutes with my wife?
Absolutely.
Or my girlfriend or whatever?
Real quickly, there are also different ways to prepare compensation.
Okay.
We can do percentage.
Okay.
We can do a flat rate.
Okay.
Generally, because of these new rules,
Uh-huh,
I have recently moved to a flat rate,
okay,
depending on price point,
got it.
and depending on, ease.
Okay, so like,
Okay.
what would be, for what we're looking at, what would be the flat rate?
The flat rate, I would say 20,000.
20 grand, okay. And if it were a percentage,
If it were a percentage, I would go probably 2%.
2%, so that would fluctuate with the final contract price.
Right.
Got it.
See, and this is why I recommend a flat rate, because this way you then know.
Exactly how much I'm gonna pay.
And it doesn't, like, the agent's getting paid.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's, no matter what.
You're gonna get the same amount, so like, you don't have any reason to like,
To try to push it
up higher. That's a good point. I never thought about that. That's a good point.
It's just
All right.
something that lately I've been working with, and it's been pretty successful.
Okay. Well, what should we do now?
You should go talk to your significant others, and if you have any questions, reach out to me.
Okay.
Take all of that,
Okay.
look it all over.
Cool.
What I will do in the meantime, I want you to take my card, so if you do go to open houses,
Uh-huh.
just to avoid that, you
Uh-huh.
don't have to worry about any of that.
Okay.
Say-
Just give them your
give me your
info.
info.
Okay, cool.
And, what was the other thing? There's one more. Paperwork, take my card, go out. I'm gonna set you up on a search nonetheless.
All right.
And I'll just feed you a bunch of possibilities that
Okay,
are out there.
sounds good.
And,
I appreciate that.
if anything new comes on the market that fits your description, you'll catch an email, I'll catch an email
Okay,
telling us that that's there.
sounds good.
For anything that moves into your price range or is brand new.
Okay,
Okay?
cool.
All right, well, Daniel, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, no
I appreciate it.
problem.